So, I have a question for you. Tell me, tell me what you think when you hear this. All right, Valve shouldn't be the ones deciding this. If you're a player, we shouldn't be choosing for you what content you can or can't buy. If you're a developer, we shouldn't be choosing what content you're allowed to create. Those choices should be yours to make. Tell me what you think when you hear that statement. Well, I can tell you're probably thinking what I'm thinking. Great, that sounds good. The free market is a wonderful place where I can choose to buy things that I want. And, that's a good thing, right? Well, apparently it's not. Apparently that's a bad thing. How fucking dare they? Because, well, unfortunately, some of the games that you might choose to buy might, well, hurt someone's feelings. That's bad, apparently. What the hell? Okay, so I'm gonna just... The SJWs and games journalists are very pissed about this. How dare you? How fucking dare you allow people to choose what they want to buy? That's disgusting. Alright. Right now we're gonna read a Kotaku article. Kotaku is a pile of steaming shit, if you didn't know. Yeah, they're very SJW-esque, all the time. So we're just gonna read this. Steam's irresponsible hands-off policy is proof that Valve still hasn't learned its lesson. By Nathan Grayson, Thursday at 8:05 p.m. Filed to Steam. Okay, I didn't need to read all that, but fuck you, Nathan. You're a dick. All right. Yesterday, Valve announced a sweeping new policy for Steam. From now on, the platform will allow everything, that's in quotes, except for games Valve decides are, and in quotes, illegal or straight-up trolling. In light of controversies like the recently removed school shooter game Active Shooter, sorry, the announcement came as a surprise to those who were expecting Valve to offer a solution rather than wash its hands of the task, but that's what Valve does. Now, first thing, Active Shooter. I don't know how I feel about that. All right, I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I mean, it is a school shooting game, which is bad, I guess. I mean, you could also play as a SWAT officer. I mean, I'd play it, I guess, but I don't know how I feel about it. I really don't. I don't know how to feel about that. But maybe we'll make another video on that. The game looked like shit anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The thing I want to point out is the announcement came as a surprise to those who were expecting Valve to offer a solution. Okay, what solution do you propose? Who should dictate what games are okay and not okay? Are you the person who should be the judge of this? Are you the be-all end-all of deciding what is and is not something that people should buy, be able to buy, have the option of buying? You don't have to buy it, but if you're given the option and I don't like that option, then that's not okay. What kind of fucked up logic do you have to have for that to make any sense? I don't understand it. I really don't understand. God. Okay, let's go. Valve's post laid bare a set of ethos that have been driving Steam nearly since its inception, even if Valve rarely discusses them. A desire for openness, a hands-off approach to a platform ownership, and an irrational fear of controversy that directly implicates Valve. Alright, that's that last part. an irrational fear of controversy that directly implicates Valve. You're the one making the controversy over pointless bullshit. Okay, active shooter I can understand. It's a little iffy. All right, but like you're the same people who make a quote unquote controversy because anime titties. What? You're not gonna buy it. They're not marketed for you. Why are you Why are you trying to stop the people that want to buy it from buying it? Because it's sexist. I don't fucking. I don't. I don't understand, man. I don't understand. Also, completely shifting the blame to Valve. Like, you have an irrational fear of controversy. It's irrational. Irrational. Yeah, irrational. Because it's not like you have a massive following that could potentially hurt the company simply because, I don't know, because your fifis got hurt by a game that wasn't marketed for you and you didn't have to buy or look at or pay attention to at all, but decided to anyway just so you had something to complain about? Yeah, okay, sure, that makes sense. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, cool, yeah. Let's just continue. In this particular case, Valve's Eric Johnson espoused, Jesus Christ, big words, meritocratic, libertarian-style market openness while pointing the vague notion of controversy as a key factor in Valve's decision-making process. Decision-making process. He explained that the company is reacting to controversies surrounding potentially offensive, that's in quotes, content like active shooter and a bevy. Alright, and a bevy of explicitly sexual games, not by hiring more people to do a more comprehensive job of moderating scene, but opening the floodgates even wide. Okay. They just explained why they were doing this, okay? Why should they stop explicitly sexual games? Why should they? There's a market for those. People want to buy them. Why shouldn't they? I mean, they're not marketed for you. If you don't want them, don't buy them. That's a simple solution. But no, you have to have something to complain about. You don't want people to have the option to buy something that you personally find offensive or something that you personally don't like. Because, of course, it's always feels before reals. And the reality is that there's a market. People want them. It makes people happy, and people are willing to shell out money for that. Money that Valve gets part of. Now, this decision is probably partially for business, which is... honestly, I'm surprised the game company decided to do that. So far, EA and shit has fucking just been like, yeah, we jam everything into... Jam the women, the blacks, and the disableds directly into this game, even though they don't belong. Cough, cough. Battlefield 5, cough, cough. God. Like when that came out, you yelled at everybody for being sexist because they complained about it, yet when the same developers made Battlefront, the fucking shitty Star Wars Battlefront, nobody complained about there being women and blacks and aliens in that. You know why? Because it made sense. It fit within the context of that world. It doesn't in World War II because that is an event that happened. I'm getting off track. Okay, I'm getting off track. But this really pisses me off. I know I'm saying like the same shit over and over and over again, but this is ridiculous. It really is. And of course, it's always Valve's fault for it. It's always Valve's fault. Why should they just cut off all the games that you find offensive? Why should they spend more money to cut off a market? Yes, we are disappointed because they won't close the floodgates for a potential of a good amount of money that they could make. How dare they? Evil! Evil! Okay, we're not gonna do that bullshit again. Alright, let's just continue. This is because, he wrote, good moderation of Steam looks vastly different depending on who's doing the looking. Exactly my point. Exactly my point. And there is absolutely no way we can navigate it without making some of our players mad. That is exactly the point. We know that they acknowledged it. You're acting like the fact that that's a bad thing. Having a free and open market is fine. If you try to moderate it, you're gonna piss someone off. You're gonna piss off significantly more people if you try to moderate it than if you just let people decide for them fucking selves. If they are illegal or straight up trolling, then they're gonna get rid of it. What's the problem with that? That sounds like exactly the correct thing to do. That sounds like the best thing they can do. And yet, this is still a problem. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, let's read this little footnote, I guess. Critics fear that Steam will become a cesspool of gross content. Will become a cesspit. A cesspit. I mean, I would have gone for cesspool, but, you know, whatever. A cesspit of gross content aren't just hypothetical. Steam isn't just a store, and Valve has already done similar things with other portions of Steam, often to disastrous results. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, but okay. What are you talking about? A cesspit of gross content? Are you talking about all the games that have attractive female characters that you find offensive? Because if that's what you're talking about, then almost every single game not made by one of you fucknuts is probably what you would consider a disgusting cesspit. Oh, that's watered down to disgusting. Ah, fuck that. Okay, ugh. Ignore that. Wasn't supposed to happen. Let's see. Since yesterday, there's been a tremendous blowback to Valve's decision from developers, critics, and journalists. Wow. Wow. You notice how in that list they didn't say, the gamers and shit that actually fucking use use Steam. Huh. Wow. It's almost like only a small portion of SJW developers, some fucking SJW critics, and the already known to be fucking bullshit journalists don't like the decision. Wow, who would have thought? They don't like it. Oh, but of course we do. That's because all gamers are, let's see, what was the list? Racist, sexist, misogynistic, transphobic, Islamophobic pieces of shit. Right, I forgot about that. That's what we all are. I forgot. Oh, I completely forgot about that. Oh, dear. I mean, ignore the fact that I'm bisexual. I obviously hate the gays. Ugh, disgusting. Hate them all. Penis? Despise it. Absolutely despise it. Anyone who likes penis should be executed in the streets. Obviously, that's a joke. Okay? A joke that went on way too long, but made my point. So, whatever. Who cares? I don't. But I do think it's funny that they mention developers, critics, and journalists. You know, the people no one really trusts. Developers, depends on the developer, but a lot of the big ones we're just like, yeah, we don't like you. You're doing it for money and just to not get into controversy with the bullshit media that we don't trust. And critics that we don't trust because they're part of the bullshit journalists and shit. That was redundant. Okay, but you get the point. Like, whatever. Let's just read this quote. Shit, Valve. Shit, Valve. If your new platform content policy is the policy even the toxic hellfires that social media are slowly backing away from after years of trouble, that doesn't bode very good for the content of your platform, wrote Vlambeer's Rambi Ismail on Twitter. I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know what Vlambeer is. But alright. Is this a trusted critic or something? I don't know. Um, Either way, let me tell you, everyone is welcome on Steam, right? Some people just aren't wanted. You're welcome, but not wanted. You understand? And let me tell you, when it comes to the majority of actual gamers who actually play video games and actually buy these fucking things, you guys aren't welcome here. We don't want you to critic or review our games or talk about them because you'll probably distort it to make us sound bad and to the general population. Jesus Christ. I fucking hate all this political bullshit. It's fucking ridiculous. Jesus Christ. Alright. Let's just... More quotes. Fantastic. A platform that allows everything unless it's illegal or straight up trolling is ridiculous. How is that ridiculous? Illegal or straight up trolling is bad. Said Leaf Coran. I don't know how to say your fucking last name. Fuck you, you're a dick anyway. Creator of indie game storefront Itch.io. A Steam competitor. That is not a Steam competitor. Not even close. You can barely call that shit a competitor. I mean, it's not even a competitor of fucking Origin, and nobody uses that bullshit. Oh, well, I mean, not nobody, obviously, but, you know, same people. Please keep your malicious, derogatory, discriminatory, bullying, harassing, demeaning content off of Itch.io. Our ban buttons are ready. Great. I never did like Itch.io anyway. Some okay games on there, but oh boy. Never find anything good, really. I'm glad they just assume. I don't even know where to fucking go with this. That I haven't already said in the past. How long have I been recording? Almost 20 minutes. What the fuck is going on? Critics fear. Alright, you know, we already saw that. You're assuming this is still some kind of abstract slippery. You're assuming this is still some kind of abstract, slippery slope hypothetical. Robert Yang, a developer of queer sex games who's had a bumpy relationship with Steam in the past, said on Twitter in response to the idea it could be bad if corporations got to decide what was and wasn't moral. They're already picking bad moral norms. They're already governing. They're already giving up technical support to Steam Nazis to call me a degenerate. What the fuck are you talking about? Queer sex games, okay. You shouldn't have a problem with them being more lenient with explicit sexual games if you make queer sex games. Why I don't understand why you have a problem with this. They're already picking bad moral norms. They're already governing. They are already giving tactical support to Steam Nazis to call me a degenerate. Okay, when we say Steam Nazis, do you just mean anyone who doesn't like your game or disagree with you, or do you mean or something else? Or do you mean actual like neo-Nazis that happen to play video games? Because I have a feeling you're just talking about people who disagree with you. Fucking cunt. All right. I don't know who this man is because I've never looked for queer sex games, but whatever. All right. Let's just keep going. In the case of games like Yang's, Valve's devotion to openness will solve the problem. Lack of clarity surrounding sex games, even one that try to explore nuanced ideas like sexuality and queerness instead of falling on basic titillation, has been a constant thorn in developers' sides. It's good to hear that it shouldn't be an issue anymore, but is it worth it for Yang et al. To be able to publish their games on Steam and Valve won't clean up the rest of it? Getting rid of anything illegal or straight up trolling, that means only games that actually have some semblance of care and work put into them. I wouldn't call that trash. she'd also call, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what to say. I can't think of any jokes for this one. I'm sorry. Not that I've really been joking this whole time, just adding a sense of humor onto facts and my general opinion on the matter. But let's continue. And yes, ideally, corporations should not be the sole deciders of what is and is not moral and ethical, because that's a one-way trip to an even bleaker dystopia than the one we're already occupying. You're not in a dystopia, you fucking cunt. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Let's see. Let's fucking... The year, hold on, fuck, where was I? Already occupying. But that's not what this is really about. This is about basic safeguards that Valve has consistently failed to provide. Okay. Yeah, constant safeguards that Valve has failed to provide. Okay, one, you shouldn't eat. Stop being a fucking pussy. That's number one. Two, I mean, they are against racism, at least. I know this for a fact, and let me tell you why. Not because I'm racist, but because I made a... Well, look, I made a joke. I named my Steam profile, Friendly Neighborhood Klansman, and had my profile picture, a picture of a Klansman. And, me and my friends thought it was fucking hilarious, but, Valve, said that was a no-no, and, banned me from changing my profile for about 1 week. So, they're not gonna outright ban people for making offensive shit, but they are going to get punished. And I was, which is perfectly fair. I understood why. I'm not gonna complain about it. It was offensive. That was the point. It was a joke. It was to get a reaction. That was it. And I did before it, got changed. But yeah, whatever. Who cares? It's not important. What's important is that they aren't just... They're not just sitting there with their thumbs up their asses, just, letting people do stupid or offensive shit all the goddamn time. That was the point of that whole story I told. This is just fucking retarded. Because they're not doing everything to the T that you would like them to do in regards to things you find personally offensive, that means they are doing basically nothing at all to safeguard your feelings, which shouldn't be their job anyway. It should be your own job. Stop being a bitch. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. Over the years, Valve's particular brand of openness has repeatedly resulted in messes that somehow the company evidently hasn't learned from. If you need examples from the past, look no further than I don't know how to read that word because I'm retarded. Okay, I'm just gonna... The proliferation of hate groups in Steam's inconsistently policed community section. The digital homicides fiasco, the endless flood of fake games, which they just said straight up trolls, which would count as fake games, would get rid of. I mean, fuck. Taking advantage of an exploit in Steam's trading card system, the normalization of review bombs as a viable tactic to try and tank games. Review bombs are a viable tactic because they see that you are in fact angry. It's a perfectly thing to do. Let's see. The normalization of review bombs, a viable tactic, or the multi-billion-dollar underage trade Counter-Strike gambling ring. They already pretty much fixed that, and even then, it's not really Valve's fault that people, made websites to gamble their skins, but yeah, whatever. Let's see, a picture, of course. Okay, yeah. Hate groups, and of course what they said is a joke making fun of these people, which is the right-wing death squad's union. We will purge the world from decadence. If you are a patriot, nationalist, traditionalist, conservative, monarchist, you are welcome here. I'm a patriot. I love America, alright? I love America, which is why I care so much that it's going to shit. maybe I'll join the right-wing death squad's union. In fact, I think I will. I think I will. I think I'll do that after I finish this. Ah, Christ. In those cases and many more, Valve didn't take action until controversy came knocking. Only after sustained user outcry, lawsuits, or negative mainstream press does it crack down, whether quietly or in more legally fraught cases like the gambling issue publicly. When it comes to Steam, Valve rarely acts. It mostly reacts. In the meantime, problems fester and ultimately come to define the platform's caustic, sometimes abusive culture. Alright, sure. The platform's abusive culture. Yeah, we're abusive. We don't like you talking shit about all our games and, gamers, so, and find us calling you out on your bullshit offensive. Abusive, not offensive. Well, I mean both, I guess. But abusive culture, yeah. Fuck you for, being a pussy. Alright? Maybe you should learn how to deal with insults or, being proven wrong like the rest of us have. Then you can come and play games on Steam with the big boys. Alright? Great. Alright. It would be downright bizarre to see Valve throw its hands up at the idea of sifting through Steam's endless game flood, despite having barely tried to do it previously. Shut the fuck up, okay? Alright, look, obviously it's not going to be easy, and they might not even do that great of a job at it, but goddammit, this is the right way to go. Free market is always better. I'm pretty much out of humor for this. I'm just gonna read a bit until something either is laughable or pisses me off to the nth degree, okay? I'm just gonna go. If this wasn't so similar to decisions it's made countless times before, let's not beat around the bush here. Valve is a stupendously wealthy and resourceful company, and it could have taken preemptive action against many of the above issues. It chose not to. It's a matter of priorities. Valve has proven time and time again that the particular shape Steam's culture ultimately takes is not a priority. That's a big problem. It will almost certainly continue to be under Valve's new approach. What the fuck are you talking? You mean the fact that not everybody is a whining bitch that complains about everything that hurts their feelings? Is that what you mean by abusive culture? Is that what you mean by, not shaping it to your idea of what a culture should be like? Yeah, that's probably what you mean, so I'm just gonna give a quick little fuck you. Eat a dick. Eat a big fat black dick. Put it in your mouth, choke on it. And, maybe you'll vomit, that's okay. Some people are into that, but I'm personally not into that, so, you can just stay over there, laying on the ground in your own vomit, looking like the piece of filth that you are. I was gonna say choke and die, but honestly, I don't want you to die. You're not worth that. I'm not that much of a psychopath, thank you. I'm only a little bit of a psychopath. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's perfectly fine. Also, usually when people tell you to die, it's not that big a deal, but I know you're gonna twist this into some sort of death threats thing, so I'm just gonna not do that. I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go on. The language Johnson used in yesterday's post is telling of those priorities and the ways they actually threaten to undo Valve's dream of laissez-faire paradise. Laissez-faire paradise. The challenge is that this problem is not simply about whether or not the Steam store should contain games with adult or violent content, he said. Instead, it's about whether the store contains games within an entire range of controversial topics: politics, sexuality, racism, gender, violence, identity, and so on. In lumping together so many different types of subject matter and pointing to all of them as being controversial or offensive to somebody, Johnson ignores that these things are wildly different. Games with racist leanings do not even remotely sell each kind of offenses. Games about sexuality. Alright. I mean, you're not wrong, but I see where you're trying to go with this, and that's also wrong. The point is not that they are all the same, but the fact that somebody is going to get pissed off about it, which is why they gave you the option to buy what you want, which is good. If you don't want racism in your game, then if you don't want racism in your video games, then don't buy video games with racism. That's about it. Violence, those aren't. Since it mentions violence here, I'm gonna go on a little tangent that's not really related to this. I hate it when parents complain about violence in the video games being bad for children. And let me tell you why. It pisses me off because they're terrible parents. And that you might be thinking, well, you're just making an assumption. Why would you say that? You can tell immediately from the statement. They bought a violent video game for their child. An M-rated 17 plus video game for their below 17 plus child. And now it's not their fault that their game got a violent that their child got a violent video game, but my fault, or not my fault, the game developer's fault. That is completely fucking ridiculous. That is a terrible argument, and you should be ashamed of yourself for, I don't know, giving your child violent video games. Alright? Maybe you just shouldn't buy them violent video games. How about that? Maybe accept the fact that you're a shitty parent instead of putting the blame on other things because you don't want to feel bad about what you've done. Now that we've gotten that tangent out of the way, let's just continue with this. Not only that, these things tend to have knock-on effects. Steam sees an upswing in overtly racist games. It's unlikely people will want to put their games with more nuanced takes on race on the same platform, given that racism's whole thing is threatening people of certain backgrounds and identities. It's not about threatening people with certain backgrounds and identities. It's about thinking you are above somebody with different. That's not about what racism is. No, it's about race, not backgrounds and identities. Unless you mean racial backgrounds, then yes, that would be correct. But backgrounds and identities, I feel like your identities specifically is the thing. You can't, like, whatever. You know, I'm not even gonna try to make this point. It inherently makes for a more hostile environment for certain types of expressions. As we've already seen in the CS community, white nationalists and overt Nazis are happy to invade these spaces in mass when presented with an opportunity. These are not actual white nationalists and overt Nazis. These are people you call that because they are trolls that want to offend you because they know you're pussy bitches. That is the thing. Do I actually, let's see. Do I actually think white people are the superior race? Do I actually, hate Jews and want everybody who isn't a beautiful white Aryan to be exterminated? No, then guess what? I'm not a Nazi. But you're gonna call me one. Because, what, you find me offensive? Alright. Are you gonna call me a white nationalist because I don't feel bad for, being white for things my ancestors did? Actually, they didn't because they were from Poland, Russia, not America. But hey, that's not the point. The point is this bullshit. Fucking Valve said it'll work on providing tools that allow people to hide content that's objectionable to them on their stored pages, which, besides being a solution to a different problem, isn't something that Valve has done a great job with in the past. The tools it introduces are often exploited by malicious users. It remains to be seen what shape those tools take, but it's hard to be hopeful, especially in light of the way that Valve framed them. It offered people the example users might choose to hide anime games from their feed, even as if that's even on the list of users' biggest problems. Apparently it is, based on the amount of times you fuckers complain about that shit. I swear I've seen so many times explaining about anime titties and how it's I don't even fucking know. It's sexist. It's offensive. Uh, I I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. Okay, that's just the thing. Okay. Valve refuses to acknowledge the political context in which Steam exists. That it's there is no political context. This is not. What the fuck are you talking about? Even as other social platforms like Facebook face a cultural and political reckoning after embracing a similar techno-libertarian ideals. Clearly, Valve is aware that things like Nazi groups are a bad thing, given that it's gone on a quiet delete spree each time they've been specifically mentioned in the press. But there still seems to be a disconnect between that knowledge and Valve's understanding of Steam's broader cultural and political influence. This is not about politics. This is about fucking playing video games that people want to enjoy. Just because they find them offensive does not mean it is political. You are making it political. And Facebook is a censor is a fucking it censors everybody. That shit censors fucking everybody who doesn't believe strictly SJW bullshit. Or either doesn't either it'll ban you if you don't. It'll either you can be on Facebook as long as you are an SJW or be an old person that does nothing but post pictures of cats and family and doesn't talk about politics at all. In which case they have nothing to actually get rid of you because you don't do anything offensive. That's the only way you would be able to stay on Facebook. I I don't know what the fuck is happening to the world. I have no faith in humanity. I really don't. Everybody's just pieces of shit to each other. People are becoming retarded, apparently. I don't know what to do about it, so. What the fuck? What the actual fuck? God, this shit is so fucking ridiculous. Okay, let's just. Where was I again? Bafflingly, however, Valve does not seem very aware of Steam's influence in other ways. The company clearly understands that being able to publish on Steam is incredibly important for PC game developers, existentially so. So even if you're a developer, said Johnson, you shouldn't be choosing what content you're allowed to create. Those choices should be yours to make. It frames the whole issue in an almost freedom of speech-like terms. Even though Valve is not a government body and in theory that can't that can't hack it on Steam can just be published elsewhere. Valve knows it's the biggest game in town, a company of near monopolistic proportions, but it will only take responsibility for one side of that coin. What the fuck are you talking about? Frames the whole issue as almost a freedom of speech like terms. That's because it basically is this kind of issue. It is censorship. That is the problem. That is why people don't want people like you deciding what would go on Steam, because then it would only be family-friendly content. And when I say family-friendly content, I mean SJW propaganda. You should feel bad for being white. Uh, Women are powerful and better than men, and all men should die. That is the kind of games you would accept. And you know I'm right, but you're gonna say I'm not because you can't accept shit. Can't accept how much of a cunt you actually are because you are a bunch of fucking idiots. God, I'm very tired and this is annoying me, pissing me off. I don't know what the hell to say. This is taking a long time. I didn't realize how long this article was. I wanted to record some other things, but apparently I'm not going to be able to do that because this article is so fucking long and filled with so much bullshit that I'm not going to be able to do anything. Okay, however, despite aspirations toward a platform that embraces openness, Valve defined its criteria for booting games from the service so broadly it's hard to know what to expect at this point. Oh, defined its criteria for booting games so broadly. So broadly. Kind of like other SJW rules, except they're not okay because it might potentially hurt your fifis. All right, so was it broad? Is it broad when Twitter, I don't know, bans people for being what you would consider offensive or transphobic, some shit like that? One of the phobic things, probably one of the phobic or isms that you have created. Or what about YouTube's bullshit, where it will pretty much completely drain you of money, or, make your shit not be seen as much. All that good stuff, because you have the wrong political shit, or either that or you're not, a famous celebrity. One of those two things. Yeah, but those are okay because it benefits you, while this could possibly hurt your feelings. Yeah, that's when broad rules aren't okay. When they could possibly harm you, not when it could harm the people you get offended by. Oh my god. Look, I'm just gonna go. Broadly, it's hard to explain. Straight up trolling could be applied to all sorts of games, meaning there's a possible scenario in which Valve espouses all these ideals, but then continues to selectively and arbitrarily weed out games while failing to provide developers with a consistent code of conduct to follow. That's not great. Once again, this happens on Steam and Twitter and shit all the goddamn time, and the hellhole that is Facebook. But that benefits you, so you don't complain about that. You complain about this because it could possibly harm you, as previously stated. So we're just gonna continue. It's not great either. It's just the current model tip, towing around in a new pair of shoes. Not much more of this. Okay, not much. Great. Fantastic. Shit, where was I? Uh, Johnson concluded yesterday's post by stressing that Valve does not want games on Steam to be seen as an expression of the company's values. If we allow your game onto the store, it does not mean we approve or agree with anything you're trying to say with it. If you're a developer of an offensive game, this isn't us sliding you with this isn't us siding with you against all the people you're offending. There will be people throughout the who hate your games and hope you fail and hope to fail to find an audience, and other people at Valve who feel exactly the same way. And then it shows a picture of AIDS simulator. Well, welcome to Africa. You've got HIV. Now you're mad and want to kill all Africans that gave you AIDS to get revenge. AIDS Simulator is a very short, first-person shooter with boring gameplay, bad graphics, and generic assets. See, this is an example of a troll game, but it sounds fucking hilarious, but it's bad. Also, I know I'm not showing the article, but I'll link it in the description. I would do what I did with that other article on Mr. Beast, but there's so much shit here, and I don't feel like doing that much work in this, because I just want to get this done, to be perfectly honest with you, because I have other things I need to do today, and I would like to get this out as soon as possible, so I'd rather just put some gameplay in the background. So let's just finish these last uh, 3 more paragraphs. Let's just finish this bullshit. But this decision and procession of similar calls the company has made over the years does contribute to an expression of values. Valve doesn't want to own up to these values, just doesn't want to open up to these values or the online environment has shaped. Company's happy to turn a massive profit all of it because it doesn't care how fucking offended you are. It's siding with the actual gamers who pay for shit other than the people who just kind of sit there and complain about it and don't actually buy anything. I mean, that's probably it. Just know that, Valve, just know that actual people who use your platform, real gamers who haven't made an account didn't make an account 5 minutes ago to say you're racist assholes and full of shit and this is a bad idea. This is coming from a man who's had an account for a little over 7 years. And, yeah, I feel like I know what I'm talking about. So, played video games for a long time. It's just gonna... Don't listen to these assholes. Ask users to... It's just going to ask users to hide it. Okay, hold on, wait. But it doesn't care to clean up the dog shit dotting its front yard. It's just going to ask users to hide it, but it'll still be there. Yeah, whatever. If nothing else, it's hard to be too disappointed that Valve refuses to moderate Steam, because frankly, it's hard to believe that such a confused, inconsistent, irresponsible company would do such a passable job of it. There's no good outcome here. The sensible thing to be would be to use some of Valve's enormous profits to hire more people to do a better job of moderation. As they stated, which was a very good fucking point, what is good and bad would depend on the person doing it. It wouldn't be consistent. What do you not understand? You can't just blanket everything that might... You can't just ban everything from slightly to incredibly offensive and just get rid of all of it, okay? Some people... Oh my god, you're gonna have to get rid of every game that has a gun in it because guns are violent and could be offensive. So every single game with a gun in it, get it off Steam right now. Every single game with it that has racism of any kind, even something that isn't actually racist but is microaggression or something like that, needs to be any game where you are asked, where are you from? Needs to get removed because that's xenophobic and racist. All right. My God, it's... All right. You know what? I'm gonna stop this tangent. No matter how you slice it, Valve is the problem. No, it's not. You're the problem. I've given up on hoping that it'll change anytime soon. Meanwhile, a game called AIDS Simulator is coming to Steam next week. It's a game where you're mad and want to kill all Africans that gave you AIDS to get revenge. I wish I was joking. Update. 9:15 p.m. 6/7/18. AIDS Simulator has been removed from Steam, presumably because it violated Steam's still nebulous rules around straight-up trolling. As I said, here's a good definition of what they mean. God. This is... I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. That was probably the longest, most painful shit I have ever had to deal with. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. Let's see some. I'm gonna read some comments real quick. This is from the staff, a staff member. No gods are kings, only man. Picture from BioShock. Welcome to Rapture, Valve. Great, great. Community. Let's see. God. Yeah. Okay. Here's a great comment. Good move, Valve. A platform should be an agnostic canvas for artists, not a playing field for corporations to push their morals on others. And with that, we're going to blind blind prophet. Okay, yeah, let's see what you had to say. Not not a playing field for corporations to push their morals on others. That's a quote from another man. You're not very bright, are you? No, blind prophet. You are no prophet. You are a false prophet, and you far clearly fucking retarded. Um, they're allowing people to make a decision instead of, I'm not even gonna argue with this fucknut. Okay, I'm gonna stop this. This has been almost an hour long reading this horseshit article. My fucking god. Ah, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Okay. I fucked up those lyrics right there in my own goddamn joke. Fuck me. All right. So that was a fucking retarded Kotaku article about Steam not pandering to SJWs and them being angry about it. Um, Steam, I'm proud of you. Please don't go back on this. Actual gamers are on your side. You should tell by the comments on the post where you said this. Honestly, this is what day and age is it where we have to argue about where people are complaining about having the option to decide what games they want to buy? In what world is it where we have to argue about why we should be able to have an option of what we want to buy? That sounds like the exact opposite of what people should be doing. And yet here we are, telling people why having options is a good thing and how not having options is bad, even though they think it's good for some fucking reason. Whatever. All right, we're I'm done with this shit. All right. I honestly, I think this whole Steam controversy, those were air quotes I just did there, but you can't see those. But this big quote unquote controversy is complete horseshit. This shouldn't be a controversy. This should just be a company making a good decision. But of course, SJWs and games journalists who obviously pander to those SJW assholes uh, are, of course, fucking upset about this. How dare you give people options? Okay? We want those games off of there because it hurt my feelings. Okay? If it hurts my feelings, it shouldn't be on Steam because I think it's offensive. The problem with every fucking argument I've ever heard from these assholes about literally anything, it's all based on I think and I feel, not it is, or it is, or just fucking facts in general. Not to mention this shit. This shit is just options, having an option, giving you more options, more freedom. I don't. Why is freedom now a bad thing? Okay, I don't understand. I do not understand it. I really don't. My God. You know what? I'm done with this shit. Guys, this is almost an hour long. So if you stuck to this point, uh, thank you, actually. Like, legit, thank you. You are a beautiful person. I don't know if you are a man or a whaman or some sort of animal, but, yeah, thank you nonetheless. Yeah. If you liked this video, then, uh, leave a like, please. I am desperate. I'm not that desperate, but please give me likes and views and subscribes and all of those things. Give them to me for free, okay? If you don't give them to me, I'll be very upset. All right? I'll complain. I'll whine about it until uh I'll I don't know. I was gonna make a joke, but I had I didn't just have a brain fart right there. All right, let me tell you what happened. I did not have a brain fart. Okay, my brain took a massive shit. Okay, that was not a fart. That was taking a shit in a brand new tuxedo that you just rented from your abusive dad. Okay, that's what just happened. Ugh, okay, whatever. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you disliked the video, then leave a dislike. If you want to see more, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. That was probably by far the worst outro I've ever done. Okay, whatever. I'll see you later, I guess. Goodbye.